Okay.
Thank you.
So the coach advisory board, I want to say it's 12 coaches. Is that right, Dave? 12?
8.
8. Okay, it's 8 coaches. And they have 4 coaches come in every 2 years. So it's a 2-year term. And so Dave is one of those 8 coaches. And it's a huge honor to me. I mean, to be able to be handpicked by, some of the top leaders, but also corporate makes those selections too. So, Dave's one of those 8 coaches in the entire organization that corporate and the leaders are leaning on and talking to and sharing ideas with, to make sure that corporate and the coaching network and that marriage of the two just kind of keep going in the right direction. So, I mean, I know we're in great hands with Dave on that board, along with the other 7 coaches. But you can also, I mean, Dave's, I saw here, he also recently retired from the New York State. He was a New York State trooper, right? And so I think he was there for 22 years and, serving as a trooper. That's something I think we have a lot of New York coaches on this team. So that's something that's pretty cool too. But he also just recently retired, which is like such an awesome thing that him and his wife now get to kind of, have the freedom to work their Beachbody business. But he's also, getting speaking engagements, and he's got a new book coming out, which I can't wait to get my hands on. And so I know he's going to share a little bit about that. He's also just wrapped up the filming of Lift More. So I know a lot of you guys love Lift 4 and Joel, and Lift More is coming out next month. I think that sample workout comes out like in a few days here. So Dave got to actually be in the videos for that, the recording for that. So I'm really excited to hear about that, but also the book and the business and everything you got going on, man. So I'm really excited that you took the time to hop on here and chat with the whole team Boom. So I'm gonna let you run with this, man.
Thank you, Pat, my brother from another mother, like I like to say. And hello, Team Boom. How's everybody doing? I'm super excited to come to you guys today in the middle of a Tuesday. Like, how awesome is this? 1:30 on a Tuesday, I get to come on because the marathon of calls I've been doing all at night. So I'm kind of digging it. I have to say, I'm kind of digging it. But before I dive into it, at the end, I'll open up for a little Q&A about Lift More. I can answer any questions on that. I figured, and before I kind of dive into how I came about coming to this book, just a little bit of background, just to kind of give you guys an idea, is that I'm married to my wife, Kristen. She is actually an elite coach this year. She's a 6-star diamond. We retired her about 6 years ago. She was a school teacher, had her master's degree and 60 credits over that, and the Beachbody business grew. So Kristen has been doing that as well. We both build and work our team together. We have 3 daughters, ages 17, 14, and an almost 11-year-old. And I've been a coach for 11 years. And like Pat said, I retired as a state police captain just about a year and a half ago. And just to give you an idea, before I retired, I ran all state police operations for the county of Westchester in New York. And we handled the 911 center that was part of my command, handled about 400,000 to 500,000 911 calls a year. And I say that because if I can build this business, and I pretty much built it to where it is right now, working full-time with 3 kids and a busy position, like if I can do it, it's not possible, it's past possible. And I want you guys to know that right from the jump, that there is an amazing opportunity in this business. And at the end of the day, it really comes down to you and the choices, decisions that you made, because I'm a big believer we are a product of the choices and decisions that we make every single day. So for me, how I got started in my Beachbody journey about 11 years ago, I was a gym goer. I ran New York City Marathon a couple of times. And a buddy of mine who I work with, I was an investigator at the time. That's our detectives in the state police. He was trying to get me to do P90X for like 6 months. I'm like, dude, settle down. I'm not doing that Richard Simmons crap, that home workout stuff. I refuse to do it. And it kind of sat there on my desk, the DVDs that were burned, I'm keeping it real, on my desk. didn't want to do it. And what happened was we had a murder case, a pretty brutal murder case here in New York. And our main witness fled the state and flew across the country and fled to Houston, Texas. So we got sent out there, my buddy and I, the same guy that was trying to get me to do P90X, and I'm like, it's not happening. We got sent out there, landed in Houston, Texas, found this witness to the case, finished the work day early, and I'm a big baseball fan. I'm a New York Mets fan. Like, this maybe is our year. I just got to raise the roof on that. But I said, hey, let's go to the Houston Astros baseball game. And he's like, I'll go to the baseball game because he's not a baseball fan. He goes, but you need to do Ab Ripper X from P90X. And I'm like, fine. So I did it in the hotel room. Actually, no, it did me in the hotel room. I couldn't do the 25 reps. It absolutely crushed me. So like that was the hook. And then I did P90X and signed up as a discount coach to get my discount on Shakeology. And then that led into many things into where I am today. And the reason I wrote this book to talk to you guys about it is, I would say about 2 years ago, and I'm sure Patrick gets a lot of this as well, or your other leaders, because I know you have an amazing team, is I constantly get asked, like, David, what is the one thing to help you be successful? What is the one thing that 11 years, you know, you're hitting Success Club all these months, you hit Legacy Club. What is the one, like, how do you get through all these times? And I literally found myself, you know, realizing that there's been principles, I like to call them, that I have mastered relentlessly that has allowed me to be where I am today. And I'm very big, guys, that, and the reason the heading says level up your business, level up your life, I'm really big in not being a public success and a private failure. Like, I'm very big on you're an elite coach, but at the same time, your home life is a mess. So for me, it is just as important that not only am I a successful coach, but it's even more important that I'm the best husband, I'm the best dad, I'm the best human being. At the time, I was the best captain, because these two are in synergy. And if your life overall is not in the right place, then everything gets impacted in a negative way. So for me, when I wrote this book, it was to empower people to take these principles, to be the best human being, but also to be a very successful coach. So for me, when I started, and I'm going to go through in no particular order in the next like 20, 25 minutes, I'm going to go through some of the principles in my book. When I started as a discount coach, I remember seeing some coaches starting to have success. I remember saying, I don't know what this is about, but I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and maybe this is the answer to help me get out of the position that I want. And I'll never forget, and I'm not saying to do this, but I charged my way to Summit, and I got there, and it was seeing Tommy Migrant on stage and having a light bulb moment saying, if this guy can do it, then I can do it. And like the first thing I think you guys need to understand is having a vision. Like, it is so powerful. When you have a vision, you need to literally see yourself, feel it, taste it, believe it, like before you're even there. So for me, like when my wife came to the summit and I dragged her to Coach Summit, and she was like, David, what's the difference between those people on stage and you? And at that point, my vision was born. I'm like, time. That is the only difference. And that has happened in every level of my life. When I used to see people hit Legacy Club, like, what's the difference between them hitting it and me hitting it? It was time. And when it came to like thinking about this book between other authors and doing it, oh my God, I was so scared. How am I going to do this? It was having the vision. And guys, when you have a vision, you need to write it down. You need to hang it up on your bathroom mirror. You need to have it on the lock screen of your phone. You need to have it everywhere. You need to read it every day, visualize it every day, because subconsciously it will pull you to where you want to go, both in business goals and your personal goals every single day. So like having a vision, I talk about in my book, casting a vision for your life. You cannot wake up every day and live life like it's an accident. You have to wake up every day with intention, okay? Guys, my second point is, you know, it's very, Beachbody says cliche, you know, have a why. I like to say it's bigger than you. Because, you know, except for one tiny in this world, the entire world is composed of people other than you. And you have to have that realization that it's bigger than you, because in this business, you are often going to get hit with something that's a lot tougher than you, and you will quit if you don't have a driving force for why you do what you do, right? And I'm also big in believing you have to learn to work from the inside out in life, not from the outside in. And what I mean from the inside out in life is looking at what it can do for others. Do you realize that Beachbody, when you help people physically, how much more powerful of what it does for them up here between their two ears, how it makes them feel mentally, emotionally, spiritually, how their mindset gets impacted? So for me, every single day, I know people look for my energy, look for my zeal, look for my passion, but I know people are looking at you. Remember that. Other than Beachbody World, people don't know who David Atkins or Patrick Reelman are. Like our ranked legacy club, that means nothing. So you just have to know that you have the ability to change the course of someone's life by simply sharing and inviting this and having a why that's bigger than you. Yes, it's great to get great muscles, and I got great results from Lift More, and yes, that's great, but the byproduct is how we feel, and why would we not want to have that for others? And why would we not want to anchor our life on something that's bigger than ourselves? Because let me tell you, people won't remember the car that you drove, they won't remember the house you lived in, but everybody will remember how you make them feel. So by sharing what we do, you have the ability to make an impact, and that will get you to show up every day. You need to anchor your life and your driving force on something bigger than you. Maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your family. I know every single day I show up to be the best husband, the best father to my 3 daughters, the best coach to my team, the best speaker when I speak at events now. Like, it's bigger than me. Guys, number 3 actually, making sacrifices. You have to understand right now that if you want things to change, the only thing that needs to change is you, right? If we want the next 30 days to not look like the last 30 days, the only thing that needs to change is you. And I think so often people don't understand, if you want something you never had, you need to be willing to do something you never done. And so often we sit around and we wait for others to rescue us instead of understanding that we are where we are because of the 86,400 seconds in a day and what we do at that time. So you need to make sacrifices in your life. So what are some tangible things that you can sink your teeth into? Like, what are the sacrifices? Getting on team calls. You're on them right now. Kudos to you. You guys are on the team call. Getting to Summit. I think you don't know what it's truly like or what it truly means to be a coach until you get to Summit. Because there is nothing like being in the room, seeing the amount of people, seeing people in all different shapes, sizes, colors, all different people, and realize, like, wow, this is so much bigger than I could have ever imagined. So for me, early on, and even now when I work my business, what did I do early on? I couldn't play in the softball leagues every single night. After my kids went to bed at 8 o'clock, I worked my business to 11 o'clock. I didn't watch Netflix for 3 hours. It didn't exist 11 years ago, but I didn't watch every New York Mets game. I didn't watch hours of TV. I had to give up sacrifices at night. You know, I also got up early every morning. Some people like, oh, David, but I need my 7 hours of sleep. I don't know, sleep 6 hours, sleep faster. I don't know what to tell you, but understand that you need to get up a little bit earlier and you need to move yourself forward. For me, this morning, I was still up by 5 a.m. and I'm basically don't have anywhere to report, but I have big goals. I have big dreams. I have bigger things I want to do, and it's not going to work if I just wake up and kind of float out there with my life with 3 kids in the house and going into summer. I need to get up early. I need to wake up. I need to stay up late at night. Guys, the third thing, this is a story near and dear to me, and I want to share this with you guys. So I went to the University at Albany for college. My freshman year, I was horseplaying around with a bunch of other guys in a dorm room, and I remember like horseplaying around, and I banged my head up against a cinder block wall, and I literally got like knocked down. Yeah, SUNY Albany. I got like knocked down to the ground and was like completely like lights out. And at that time, a gentleman came up, another one of my friends at the time came up and brought me a big bag of ice. And at that time, little did I know that I met my best friend, David Brinkerhoff. We called him Brink. And going forward, we became the best of friends. You know, sophomore year, we moved in together. We were dorm mates. We pledged Sigma Alpha Mu, the fraternity, SAMI. We also decided we wanted to be EMTs and ride the ambulance together. And SUNY Albany had a very big campus with a lot of students. So they had their own volunteer ambulance corps. And we both signed up as EMTs and we rode shifts together on the ambulance. I also started working at Macy's to start help paying some of the costs to go to college. And Brink also wanted to get a job, so I got him a job at Macy's as well. Junior and senior year, we moved off campus. We lived in a fraternity house together off campus with one other of our brothers, and we just were the best of friends. And then we both had goals of getting into law enforcement. So we both started taking all of the police exams, which is what everybody does if they get in law enforcement. I took New York City Police Department. I took the New York State Police, the state troopers. I took the county police department. I just took everything. And as to no surprise, Dave and I scored a 1/10 of a point difference on the New York State Trooper exam, like 98.9 and 98.8. We both scored very well. And we both got accepted to the New York State Police Academy in November of 1998. So we went to the academy. After that, I met my wife, Kristen. He met his wife, Barbara. We were at each other's wedding parties. We did everything together, and we continue to remain the best of friends. We then both had goals of making and trying out for our New York State Police SWAT team. It was called the MRT, Mobile Response Team. And you had to be the rank of trooper to try out. And the tryouts only came out every couple of years. It wasn't just like a week-long training. Making the New York State Police SWAT team, it's a 6-month sleepaway, grueling training. They train with the SEALs. They train with the Secret Service SWAT team for the president. It is an elite SWAT team for the country, nationally recognized. And during the waiting time frame for me to try out, I got promoted to our detective division to investigator. And I never got to try out with Brink. So I was promoted, and then tryouts came when I was promoted, and Brink tried out, and he made it. He made the team. It was an amazing accomplishment. And that was in 2006. Well, 2006 happened to be a very rough year for the state police. We had about 9 troopers that were shot. I will never forget the year of 2006. We were getting ambushed with certain times. I remember shedding some tears, like, what is going on? All of our troopers are getting shot in a matter of a year. It was a really rough year. But on April 24th, 2007, in Margaretville, New York, upstate, the troopers got a call for a male acting suspicious in a mini mart gas station parking lot. And the trooper Matt Gambosi, showed up to find out what was going on, and he got out of the car and he walked up to this minivan, and unbeknownst to him, he did not know that this person had a warrant for his arrest. And the trooper went up to speak to him, and the guy pulled out a handgun and he shot Trooper Gambosi right in the chest. Luckily, his bulletproof vest caught it and he lived, but this person fled the area in a minivan, and it took off, and a huge manhunt ensued that very day. The state police SWAT team was activated and recalled to search in this very rural area, and that went on the evening of April 24th. April 25th, that morning, I'm at my desk, and we get wind that another trooper was shot upstate in Margaretville, New York. So I pick up the phone. I'm frantically trying to call Brink. I'm like, Brink, it's Dave. Give me a call back. A trooper was shot. I'm trying to get information. Nothing. I leave a message. I call him again. Hey, Brink, it's Dave. Give me a call back. I hear a trooper was shot. And as I'm hanging up the phone in my office, my friend off to my right, who was the same one that I did P90X with, he's like, David, there's a phone call on the business phone. It's your friend Adam, and he said he went to college with you. I'm like, why is Adam calling? So I'm like, hey, Adam, what's going on? I said, yes, a trooper got shot. I'm trying to get in touch with Brink. And he's like, David, it was Brink. April 25th, 2007, I lost my best friend. He was shot and killed in a residence in a very violent shootout with this person that shot the trooper the day before. And to this day, I still wear this bracelet in honor and memory of Troopers David C. Brinkerhoff, New York State Police, end of watch, April 25th, 2007. Guys, I share this story with you not to really get into the details, but to let you know something I live by is life doesn't always fire a warning shot. And there are some of you on this call right now that are waiting for things to be more convenient. You're waiting for the pandemic to end. You're waiting for gas prices to go down. You're waiting for 1,000 different reasons, things to be less busy, for my kids to get out of school. You have all these reasons, and I'm here to tell you that you may not be here tomorrow. And right now, like, if you have goals and dreams in this business or in your life, like, you need to act on them today. Because I will never forget a week before I lost Brink, on the phone with him, joking around about our Outer Banks trip. We were going to go with our families to South Carolina. And 1 week later, I was crying over his deceased body in the emergency room. And he was gone that quick. And I think so often we talk about when we're going to get started, when things are more convenient. And I want you guys to remember this story and understand that we only have today. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Yesterday was in the past, and it's what you do with the 86,400 seconds in a day that's going to make a difference. So I need you to level up your life in all areas and stop playing small. You don't need anybody to free you. You don't need your upline to do it. You don't need your mom or your dad. You need to free yourself. And I have learned if we continue to play victim mentality in our life, we don't know when our last day on earth may be, and you could be held hostage by yourself for the rest of your life. So you need to free yourself, and right now need to execute today. Okay? Guys, the next point I want to hit on is your personal development. I know we talk about this. I know it's a vital behavior, but I can't stress to you that the person you are right now watching this call, whatever goal you have, whatever dream, whatever business rank, whatever you have in your marriage, your family, whatever it is, you cannot get there unless you're willing to go through a growth journey and leveling up your life in all areas. You have to be intentional in growing your life, okay? Every single day. Like every single day. Even now, I have bigger goals and dreams. Even now, I am pursuing being a known keynote speaker. Like, it is another level that I'm trying to get to, and it's not easy. So every day, this morning, I read 30 minutes of The Power of Positive Thinking. That's the book I'm reading right now by Norman Vincent Peale, because I need to be thinking positive things. So you guys have to get on a growth journey. I know you hear it, but I can't stress it enough, that where you want to go, you're going to have to grow. Guys, the next thing is consistency. Listen, you know, life is going to knock you down. It's going to knock you down. It's going to get challenging. I went through rough patches. My mother-in-law went from being healthy into losing her in 3 months from cancer, and I still continue to show up every single day. You have to show up every single day, even when it gets hard, right? So what are some of the tangible things? You hear them, but guys, they are so true. Doing the bad every month, hitting Success Club, right? They say success leaves clues. I'm not saying this to brag. 127 months in Success Club, that is a benchmark to consistently hit every single month to say I'm moving my business forward. And you have to understand, more times than not, listen up here, more times than not, you're not going to feel like doing it, okay? But I was sharing this with my wife yesterday, because we all have our struggles, right? We all have our doubts. I said, listen, at the end of every emotion is nothing. But at the end of every principle is a promise. So at the end of our emotions, you know, it's hard to be consistent. I'm scared. I have fear. I have doubt. At the end of that, there's nothing guaranteed. But at the end of every principle is a promise. Principle says if you're consistent and you're willing to weather the storm of life or whatever it throws at you, you will succeed, right? So you have to go on principles. You have to lean into your fear. You have to be consistent and you have to show up every single day. Guys, the next, comparison. This is a big one, right? Comparison. It is so easy right now to compare yourself right now to me, or compare yourself to Patrick. I always like to say, don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 12. The only person that you need to compare yourself to right now in this moment is yourself. The only thing you need to worry about is that, are you a better version of yourself from yesterday until today? And here's a little secret I'm going to share with you guys. And I actually put it in my book on this chapter of comparison. Sometimes, guys, not only do you need to snooze the people, maybe your haters and naysayers, and that's a whole nother principle, but sometimes maybe you need to snooze those that you look up to. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes you may need to snooze those you look up to. Hit the snooze button. Why? Because somebody you look up to that maybe is hitting goals, hitting benchmarks, you may start comparing yourself, and it may internally, subconsciously affect what goes on between those two ears. Don't worry, they won't know you do it. You need to get right up here, and maybe you need to snooze that person and take a step back to move forward. And there's something, I want you guys to write this down. I always say, work with what you have, with where you are, because what you have is plenty. I'll say it again. Work with what you have, with where you are, because what you have is plenty. Don't worry about doing what other people are doing. Worry about you being your best self and not comparing yourself to other people every single day. Okay? Because comparison will stop you dead in your tracks. And trust me, the higher you go, you'll just continue to compare. I've been there and I've done all the things that I just shared with you guys. You have to stay focused. Guys, the next. Growth comes from adversity. Understand that you are being formed to the person you're meant to become when you're being challenged, right? I don't know if you ever heard the story. It's been on YouTube videos, but I like to talk about a diamond in its original form is a piece of coal, right? But through extreme pressure, through extreme heat, through extreme cutting, that then you form the unbreakable diamond, right? Extreme pressure, people not supporting you, people telling you no. Through extreme heat, you're struggling, you're not getting a yes. Through extreme cutting, that's learning philosophies, principles I'm giving you, and being willing to be teachable. Listening to Patrick, an amazing leader, and what he tells you, be willing to understand, I need to grow through my adversity, right? The true character of a man does not get developed when things are easy. You don't get developed to a higher level coach or a higher level human being when things are convenient. And I think so often we think like things should come to us easily. It doesn't work like that. Those that are truly successful are willing to fail more, and they're willing to understand, to trust the process. So right now, if you are struggling, trust the process, lean into the fear, be consistent. And guys, the last point I'm gonna make, and I've been all over the place, I know, because I have like a bunch of them here and I have my chapters in my book over here, is guys, never, ever, ever quit. Don't ever, please, ever quit. Because you know what? I've been through tough times. I've struggled. I've had business drop off. I've gotten some very big no's, you know, but I never, ever want to look back and look at my kids in the eye or my wife in the eye and knew that I had something that can change my life, or a gift that I knew I had that I never went after and tried to do something because I gave up, because it got hard. It's not meant to be easy, because if it was easy, everybody would be showing up every single day. But there's that old saying, struggle is less painful than regret. It's true, guys. You don't want to live a regret of your life at all, okay? So guys, just to kind of recap on some of the things I hit on, some of the principles about having a vision, about knowing it's bigger than you, but understanding you need to make sacrifices. To remember Brink's story that life doesn't always fire a warning shot. To be intentional with your personal development. To be consistent every single day. To not compare. To understand growth comes from adversity, and to please never, ever, ever quit. Guys, I'm going to take some questions. I'm also going to drop in the chat. So my book, The Leveled Up Life, which dives into deeper of these principles and even more principles I have, it's supposed to be published like any day. Like it could be this afternoon. I'm dealing with publishing and editing. So this is just an opt-in list. And once it's published, I can notify you guys. So feel free to sign up. I'd love for you guys to do it to empower you guys for your life. And back at you, Patrick. And guys, I'm open for questions.
I love it. Yeah, I was just going to ask the timeline of like when would be able to grab the book. And Kate also asked if you're thinking about doing an Audible version at some point.
So that's a great question. So the book, right, when it comes out with my editor, it's going to come out through Kindle ebook, and it'll come out through paperback. And then the audio version will be coming after that, and I'll probably be the one doing it. So it's going to launch first paperback and ebook, and then after that, I'm going to record the audiobook probably within the month, and then do that. This is, guys, I always say growth comes through adversity. This has been, quick little story. I started writing this. I thought about this 2 years ago. I started writing this last September. I thought that I would be done by Thanksgiving. I'm like, I can bang this out in 2 months. I had no idea. Everything is so much harder than we ever think. It always is. So it took me a good 6.5, 7 months of writing and a few months with my editor and designer, and then here I am. So I just want to get out, and then I will be doing an audiobook.
All right, I'm dropping this in our team page. So like when it does come out, it'd be better to go through your site to buy it, or Amazon, or what works best?
So it's going to be on Amazon, Pat. So that if you sign up there, that will put you on my list because I have a bunch of people on there. And then once it's available, I am going to send an email and a text out to the list. It's available with the link to order, probably right to Amazon. Okay. That makes sense?
Yeah, perfect. Cool.
Because I can right now, it's not there. We were going to do a pre-order, and that kind of didn't work out of a hold up with some of the stuff with the publishing and everything else. So it's going to go right to launch, and it's any day. So if you guys opt in, then as soon as it's live, I will get it to you guys.
Cool. Man, 127 months of Success Club is unbelievable. Like, I mean, one of the things that I think most coaches struggle with is, they might be doing really well with their social media and sticking to their journey, but they struggle sometimes. Maybe the same people are liking and watching their posts and their stories. And so they're kind of inviting the same people. How do you go about like connecting with new people so that you're able to kind of continue to get more eyes on your journey so that you have new people to invite for the last 10 years of Hitting Success Club?
Yeah, I think every single day, the first thing that we have to do is constantly build new connections and sending invites, and then everything else takes care of itself. So for me, I'm constantly making sure, say on Instagram, I'm doing I didn't love to do reels. Listen, I'm never going to be doing a reel that I'm dancing on, right? It's not going to be. My wife does the funny, joking things. For me, I'm more of somebody that I love mindset. I love motivational stuff. So I will make my own reels, and then I developed connections through people there on my reels, obviously through my stories. And then Facebook, guys, it's keeping it simple. It's finding friends of friends and building your friend network, and also making sure you're documenting your journey every single day. Because when you connect with new people, and guys, when I say connect, I don't mean writing for the invite. Like, I always build a relationship first before I invite people. And my goal is talk about their life, build that relationship, that whole acronym of FORM, Pat, probably from back in the day. But I build a relationship, and then what do people do when I'm a new friend of theirs or a new follower I found on my reels? They watch my stuff. That's why you need to be documenting Lift More is coming out, and your workouts, and also your family life. You need to breadcrumb you as an individual so they get to know you. Then in a couple of weeks, I can send an invite and the relationship's built. So for me, on Facebook, it's still building new friends through friends of friends. On Instagram, it is doing reels, doing a reel this morning, see who likes my reel, going through the list, see if it's anybody that's my avatar, my niche, and connecting with them and creating a list. guys, it's, they say common sense isn't always common practice. It's the simple things, that you have to do. It requires hard work, but it's just being consistent. That's why, like, all these things I share with you guys are the reason why I'm at 127 months with how my mindset is, consistent with PD, struggling, knowing that's part of the process and all of these things. It's really a mastery of what goes on between these 2 ears to help you guys get there. Sorry for the long answer.
No, we talk about, we kind of call them like the 5 skills. And I love that because a lot of coaches group those 2 skills together, connection and inviting. I love that you have those 2 separate, like we do as well. We kind of talk about 1, being on your journey, sharing it. 2, that connection. And it sounds like your main way that you do that to continue to get new connections is friends of friends on Facebook. And then on Instagram, is it kind of naturally the reels are bringing new people, or are you like actively kind of trying to
No, I used to go to a page that I used to, say like a New York Mets page, for example, and try to find people on there. I'm just trying to organically do the stuff that gets me the most exposure, and then see the people that are watching or liking my stuff. And then from there, finding people from there.
Yeah.
And then on Facebook, I'm always trying to connect. And guys, I'm also, there's this saying, I don't go out to do beach body. I do beach body when I'm out. So like my daughter's like sports teams. My one daughter is on an all girls elite hockey team. She played 70 games last year. I'm constantly around families and people, and I'm just constantly getting to know them, and they find out what I'm doing. So I build it on there. I connect with them on social, so they watch my stuff. My daughter's high school varsity softball, same thing. And then friends of friends. And I just build my network, and I'm very diligent in doing the stories to get the people to watch my stuff. And then I kind of like, wow, Pat, you've been watching my stuff for 2 weeks, and I send an invite. Or I don't have to say, hey, you've been watching my stuff for 2 weeks, but I can go in for an invite, guys, because I know they've been watching me. But the thing is, you have to constantly be connecting with new people before you invite. I'm all about not cold inviting. That's me.
Yeah.
And then from there, we built our team. Now, it's different for everybody. There's no right or wrong way. I personally have never had success with just bringing in somebody that wants to build a business. I've always had the best success of helping somebody get results first, falling in love with the products and the company. Their belief is now there, and transition them to coach. That is not the way you have to do it, but that's what Kristen and I, my wife and I, do. And that's mostly how we teach within our team.
Yeah. Same here. I haven't heard that term form in a while. That's a great one for that connecting and without just jumping right to a cold invite. I'm trying to remember what form is.
It's family, occupation, recreation, message. So what that means is when you talk to somebody in that order, talk to them about their family. This is how you build a relationship. About their family, their occupation, what do they do for a living? Recreation, what do they do for fun? And then M is your message, which is like the invite. Notice it's last, right? So you form them, you learn about their family, their work, their life, what they do for fun before you get to M, the message. So I still live by that every single day.
Yeah, that's I remember Tommy Migrant talking about that.
Yeah, I think it came from Danny Johnson originally.
Yeah. I remember going to an event of hers at some point. Kate McGinty's, there's Kate's one of the coaches, but there's, some coaches on the team that are crushing, those first 5 skills of, connecting, inviting, giving their people an amazing experience that are getting great results, inviting to the coach opportunity. Kate's kind of asking your favorite personal development for how you made that shift from like just an unbelievable success club coach to being able to now develop leaders on your team.
That's a great question. So my favorite author is John Maxwell. And that is the guy that I basically feel led me to the success in this business. So my favorite book that he wrote was 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, which I think was my entrance into the eye-opening personal development journey, learning that, and then really diving into his book, like the 5 Levels of Leadership or the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Those books helped me realize the levels of, all right, you are a leader positional leader. You are a diamond, star diamond, but really it's about now helping other people become leaders and then teaching them, once you develop them, to then build leaders, which is the pinnacle of leadership. That's his level 5, which most people don't get to. But I think best books for leadership, John Maxwell, hands down. I love him. I've read like every one of his books. Anytime a new one comes out, I read it. My favorite book is the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And then like a close second is like the Compound Effect, Slight Edge, because I think that's a good PD book for people to start. But I am a big fan of John Maxwell.
Yeah, I remember he actually, when he was at the
Summit
one year, he talked about kind of his 5 levels of leadership.
Yeah.
I think like level 4 was like leader of followers. 5
Yeah.
then leader of leaders, I believe.
Yeah, so the level one is, and guys, I'll go through this quickly because it's powerful. Level 1 is positional leadership, meaning you just have a title, right? People respect you because you just have a title. That's it. They won't respect you otherwise. But since they're your boss, they respect you. That's level 1. Level 2 is permission. It's where that person takes time to get to know you, develop a relationship with you. So you're like, okay, I'm giving that person permission to be my leader. Not only my boss, but because I feel valued, you now give them permission. That's level 2. Level 3 is you develop them to become a leader. So that's level 3. Level 4 is they actually become a leader. So now you are a leader, you built a leader. Level 5, pinnacle of leadership, which very few people get to, is you develop somebody to become a leader, and then they go out and develop leaders. And that's what will pay you a lot of money in this business. Listen, you really don't want to be a leader of followers in this. That doesn't help you. You want to be a leader of leaders. I know Keith Callahan always speaks about that, but it's true. It's a John Maxwell teaching. Like, if you really want to grow, it's about you developing other leaders. And if you could develop another leader to develop leaders, you have hit the pinnacle of leadership in the world. And very few people get there.
Yeah. It sounds like you're the guy you used to work with that you went to Houston with that made you do Ab Ripper X.
Yeah.
Is he kind of started out, I don't know if he quite had the permission from you to be his like leader.
Yeah.
Did you when you did get into coaching, did you kind of like just follow what he was doing? Did you look at what other coaches in the organization were doing? Did you jump right in? Did you sit back and watch? Like, how did those like first 2 or 3 years kind of go for you?
So it's funny. He signed up as a coach under me, highest spot. He's quit like within 6 months. The guy, so he has the top spot. What?
So he wasn't even a coach?
No. So
he just wanted you to do P90X.
He just wanted me to do P90X. And then I started doing it, great results. And another guy I work with started doing it. And guys, this is my story. You guys should hear this. So the other guy that started doing it, we were doing it together. Not the guy that started. He was a customer. He got me to do it, right? Then 2 investigators, me and another guy, were doing it. He's like, I'm going to become a coach. I want a discount on this Shakeology. So he signed up. And then I signed up under him. And he put me on his weak inside leg. And about a year later, he quit. And my coach by default my coach was in the inside leg of his coach. So now I'm on like the double inside. My coach is inside. He quit. And by default, my coach, Pat, became Jay Floyd. And so Jay Floyd is my coach. But he said to me early on, I'm sorry, you're like on an island. Because I was like in his inside leg of an inside leg. I never had one coach ever put under me in my entire business, ever. To this day, nobody. It's always, I had to build it by myself. So I didn't have an upline. I mean, I had Jay, but I never had help with building. So the coach that I signed up through, who technically was my coach, he quit. And the guy that helped me get started on P90X was in the top of my one leg, and he quit. I signed him up, and he quit a year later. So all of my people are gone. Like, and little do they know, like, that they stayed. It happens. Guys, that's growth comes through adversity. I was left there, but I finally just took ownership and said, I have the vision. I see what this business can do, and I'll just build it myself.
Yeah. building $1 million business on your own, both legs, with no help from the upline, placing coaching.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I love it. Kate asked, how do you coach your downline on attracting and recruiting leaders? Is it just out of challenge groups, or are you a fan of things like coach sneak peeks?
All right. So me personally, we do like one sneak peek a month. I give it a C+ on the success. Kristen and I really lead with getting people results. So like right now we have a Snoop group, a private group for Lift More. We're leveraging the crap out of that for the next 3.5 weeks. So come launch, we have a big launch, because I know right now the network, and I know our team can use some pump in volume right now. So that's what we're going to do. And that's where I'm going to be looking to get my next best coaches, is with that. Sneak peeks, we do like once a month. And then Fridays, we just started again this Friday. We're going to do accountability calls for people that are at least Emerald, that want to build the business, with the simple goal of getting to team leader. We did a call last week and said, guys, team leaders where it's at. And I can't take this, that I'm the one that came up with this. Angie Belmar, top coach that's in CAB. I'm like, Angie, what are you doing right now to develop leaders to help them create income? We want our people to create and earn more income. It's not going so well right now. She goes, I keep it simple. Team leader, then the premier, then an elite. That's it, team leader. So we did a call last week for everybody that really wants to grow income. We went over team leader again. We understood what it meant, the requirements. And now we want people that want to be in it to understand team leader and what that means, building the weak leg to 2,500 volume and all those things. That's what they're working towards. So listen, sometimes you have to be the spark to create the change. Because right now, guys, I'll tell you, our business, volume-wise and income-wise, isn't doing too well. Like, it's not. Just keeping it real and honest. So I can sit back and watch, or I can do something about it. So we're going to do something about it. We're going to leverage Lift More. We're starting accountability groups on Fridays, where we went over team leader training. And we're trying to get people plugged in that want to earn more income and get them laser focused. And it's not going to happen overnight. Remember, this business is on a 3-month delay. So whatever your business is doing right now is a product of what you were doing 60 to 90 days ago.
Yeah, that's sometimes even 6 months delay.
Yeah.
So just for the coaches that don't know, so, I think most of the organization is very focused on rank and like getting to Emerald, getting to Diamond, and Beachbody later on came up with the leadership ladder, which, Diamond, you just need 4 active coaches on each leg and one Emerald. Those could be all discount coaches, and you might cycle 1 time a week or something like that. Whereas, the leadership ladder is a little kind of a separate thing Beachbody created that incorporates your team volume. How much team volume is being created by your weak leg, which the rank of Diamond, and a lot of times I'm like, Diamond isn't the thing you want to be like really shooting for.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of coaches are like all pumped up to hit Diamond, and they get there and they're like, this is it. I got 8 discount coaches and I got to this big Diamond thing. So I love that you're really focused more on the leadership ladder, which incorporates team volume, because creating team volume is really how you're going to create leaders that are generating, solid income.
Right. And I think it starts with team builder, but team leader, you're a 1-star Diamond, right? You get 50 leadership points, and your cumulative team volume in your weak leg is 2,500. It has to be over for 5 weeks. So we really want them to understand weak leg volume, which drives cycle bonus, getting to 1-star, because like you said, getting to Diamond could be, that's not where you're going to make the money. That should just not barely be a pit stop. It should be a stepping stone from there, right to team leader. And for people to understand, to grow and earn income, you need to build a real team. A real team is not, and in today's language, you could build Diamond and have 3 PCs in each leg and 1 coach who goes Emerald in each leg. And that's not going to get you there. Building a real team is getting coaches that then want to go out and help people. I heard this stat from Cindy Tremblay, who's on CAB. She's a top 10 coach. Ready for this one? She figured out that if you want to make $200,000 a year in this business, you have to sell 11 total solution packs a day. That should put perspective in why hitting listen, if you can hit SC 20 and 30 and 40, that's great. I did not build to Legacy Club that way. I was an SC 5 guy. I would say 50% of the time I had over 10 points, but I had a lot of months of 8 points, 6 points, maybe 10. Then I have a random 18 at a launch. But I was about hitting success of bringing in at least 3 people a month, at least 3, and then trying to duplicate that. That is more powerful than trying to do 11 TSPs a day, right? So when I heard that, I was like, that's a great perspective to share with our team.
Yeah, I love that. And I like that you're incorporating, instead of like kind of a dash to diamond or something, it's more like a, build to team leader.
Yeah.
A team. I got to take a look at that leadership ladder again. I love that they incorporated that. Do you have like a couple more minutes? 2 more questions?
Yeah. I have like 5 minutes.
Okay, cool. So question about lift 4. How do you time your day one? So like you got your coach and preferred customer launch, and then you got the customer launch. How you do you have like a Facebook group that you kind of have like an ongoing Facebook group, or a bod group that you are adding people to? That's kind of an ongoing challenge group, or do you do like a new group every month, and then kind of how are you going to like launch with this lift more?
So a couple things, a couple answers. So we've done bod groups, we've done Facebook groups, we've been back and forth. I have a bod group right now. Our group is a Facebook group. We run a new group every single month, but when a new program comes out like this, we will run a separate group just for those people doing lift more. Okay. And then what we do is we will add everybody in, the coaches or PCs that start, and we'll have a relaunch in the same group for any customers that come in. Sometimes we haven't quite figured it out. Sorry about the phone ringing. We haven't quite figured it out if we're going to do maybe customer and PC launch. And then from there, do like a prep week and help people get ready, and then align it with the customer launch. So I don't know the exact answer to that, but we do a separate group for a product launch.
Yeah. I like that you keep it the same. Yeah. I like that you keep it the same group for the PC coaches, and then the customers like the week or 2 later.
Yeah, we keep it the same because everybody that's doing it, we just want it together. There's power in numbers, and the more people doing it, I think the more powerful and the likelihood of more success.
Yeah.
And then what I will tell you, Patrick, so you'll know, I don't know if there's any other dudes on the call. I see Joe. I'm announcing it at Summit. We are going to be doing an all men's to get more men involved. Lift more bod group starting August 1st for any male that signs up and gets it. Joel will be in there as well. You guys just got inside info of what I'll be bringing up at Summit. So we're doing that because we're trying to. So I'm speaking on main stage, and I'm leading a panel. I'm coming out and I'm leading a panel. And it originally was going to start with me just speaking on it, but we decided to bring 2 other guys out. So Mike Ullman and Jamie Fitzpatrick are going to be on. And it's really about getting men more involved with the business, whether to support their spouse, whether they want to build the business, or dealing with them if they're unsupportive to the significant other spouse. So we're going to talk on that, and we're going to close. You guys are getting inside info. Hopefully I don't get in trouble. We're going to close with trying to get any man that gets the, like, say, any package of Lift More can be in a group with Joel of just guys, because I know guys tend to like, they don't need all the fluff like some of the other girls do, and we're just going to have a group. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. What day are you speaking at Summit?
I'm on the main stage Friday or Saturday morning. I don't remember, but it's Friday or Saturday. Honestly, Patrick, I don't remember.
But it's one of the mornings sessions.
One of the mornings before, I think, Bob Healy. I'll be coming out. I'll be opening up, and the backstory of this, and I'll share with you before we go, is that I was at a CAB meeting, and I was at dinner with Michael Neiman and Carl and the CAB, and I got passionate. Actually, had some tears rolling down that I feel like the men are being left behind, or the husbands of the wives, and we're being forgotten about with the programs, from the apparel, how hard it is for me to hit Success Club and all these things. And Michael and Carl really were receptive of, like, this needs to be said on the main stage. And originally it was going to be me talking for 20 minutes. And just talking it through, we thought it'd be more powerful to do it through a panel. So here we are, and I kind of thrust myself into this topic after passionately speaking up for the guys of the network and the husbands of the network and all that. So that's
awesome. That's cool. I remember one year one of the years I hit Elite, I got one of those sarongs, I think they're called, like for the bikini. I was like, I think they're forgetting about the guys a little bit here. But yeah, I mean, I think this Lift 4 is going to be huge for the guys and the women too. So, I mean, and that's awesome that you got the panel. It was Jamie Fitzpatrick, and who's the other guy?
And Mike Ullman.
Mike Ullman. I don't know if I know Mike.
Yeah, he's like top 25. He's also a state trooper, lieutenant, New Jersey, bald-headed guy. And he's hit Elite before. He's like in the top 20, 25 in the company right now. He's 8-star.
Damn. So he's like crushing Success Club, bringing in new people that are also hitting Success.
Yeah, he's doing like right now. He's like his business is thriving.
I think he spoke on the national call one time.
Yes, I'm sure.
Coleman. I was like, oh, this kind of looks like David Atkins a little bit. Yeah. And he was a cop too, I think.
He still is. Still is.
Very cool. All right. I know you got to run, but this was amazing, man. I shared that link in our little group message. I'll share it in the coach page, and we'll keep an eye out for the email, and we look forward to seeing you in about 23 days, I think.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Patrick. And guys, thank you. It's been an honor. I appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Dave.
Later.
See you guys.